This is a real screenshot from my own portfolio. What may have seemed like a catastrophic decision at the time is a decision I still stand by, and why I'm continuing to add to my position. So while it may not have been very obvious in that screenshot, but the stock that I'm going to be talking about today is Lucid Motors. In the screenshot, of course, it's CCIV because that was the stock's name before the merger. Since that screenshot, it's been a pretty downward roller coaster. Now, if you're new here, you might not know that my investments are mostly long-term. And while selling out of CCIV or Lucid at that time may have been a great decision for me as a short-term swing trade, let me tell you why I just held on to it even though it went up from $11 to like $62, and now it's at like $4 and I'm still holding on to it and adding to it. Now keep in mind that when I had made this 225% return on Lucid or CCIV at that time, I had only been in the stock market for like a month. It was literally like my first month, and it was like crazy that this is all happening in like my first month. Now if I'm being honest, in hindsight it would have probably made sense to sell at $62 and then get back in when it goes down. But there was just so much hype around the stock that I just couldn't get out of it because I was thinking it might go higher. There was some things saying that it's going to go to 200 and something like that. And especially being new, I feel like if I was in that situation again, even now, I would probably have still not sold it. I fear missing out on the gains more than losing money. While that might not be the best principle to go by, let me tell you why I'm still averaging down on Lucid. Now, everything that's happened with Lucid so far is pretty much irrelevant to its future. Selling at $62 might have been a good decision because that price was based on no fundamentals and was pure hype, and that price died down really quickly, especially given that Lucid is not really making any profit yet, which is normal because it's a new company. And speaking of new company, let me just tell you about today's sponsor. This video's sponsor is Latin Honey Shop, small new company based in the UK, and because I mostly use this honey in my hair and not actually drinking it in water like they recommend, I kind of got hit by the flu because of all the season changing and everything, and I'm not used to getting sick very often because I usually do take it but not like that much, not as much as I should. So I was like pretty sick yesterday and I just took this in water before sleeping, and here I am. I was not like this yesterday. Their honey is unfiltered, unpasteurized, raw, organic. This particular one is their most powerful one, 20 plus total activity, lab certified, equal to like 829 MGO that you would find on Manuka honey for like triple the price. Great value for money. This one is from bees feeding on coffee bean plants, so shout out to them. And it's actually their Black Friday sale starting Sunday 19th November, so I'm gonna leave a link to their website below. They're giving like 30% off all the organic honeys, cases of 6, 40% off a case of 12 for this hay fever honey, and they're also adding a 6-pack case of the hay fever honey that's worth like £72 for any order that's over £200. So make sure you take advantage of this, and let's get back to the video. So as we were saying, being a new company, it's no surprise that it was not very profitable, and obviously there's a lot of spending going on right now on factories, all the investments and all this other stuff that's going on. But nevertheless, PIF, which is the public investment fund which owns like the majority stake in Lucid, it's like their biggest holding. So you can already tell that there's a lot of money backing this company. And if you remember when the stock fell 2 years ago, I think, I actually don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure a lot of that was from insiders selling or taking profits, which is normal, and it makes sense for them to take profits to an extent because they just had such a huge stake. Now it's at the point that I don't like, even though they have such a huge share, I don't know like how much they would be selling of it, because I don't know how much, if they sell, will they lose their majority stake, which I don't think they want to let go of. And then the other thing that PIF owns is Riyadh Air, this new airline which is, I believe, supposed to be the new dominant airline in Saudi Arabia, which is a pretty big deal, and it's also owned by PIF, and there's a lot of hype around it, and I believe it's supposed to start flying around 2025. There's just a lot of things going on simultaneously. So I believe Lucid has 2 factories at the moment. They have one in Saudi Arabia and they have one in America. And the one in Saudi Arabia, they're investing a lot of money to expand it to be able to produce around 155,000 vehicles a year. This factory is set to produce its first vehicle next year, October. You could say in a year, the Saudi factory will start producing cars. And I believe the cars will also be sold at a lower price. I believe there will also be lower cost of production in Saudi Arabia because of lower labor costs and everything. And generally cars in Saudi Arabia are pretty expensive. So that would help it compete with all the Chinese cars that are coming into the market and all the other cars in general. And on top of that, it's gonna have this constant marketing through Riyadh Air, which will be also sponsoring Atletico Madrid, the football team. This car will have its fair share of marketing, and this is, you could say, marketing that doesn't cost them too much like advertising costs, because they own Riyadh Air and they've partnered with them. It's not like a sponsorship or an advertisement, but it seems to work like that. So whatever happens to this company, I believe it is a good investment right now. And just remember, nothing in this video is financial advice, it's for entertainment purposes only. But I feel like this $4 is like the floor for Lucid, and it can only go upwards from here. I could be right or I could be wrong, but either way, investing in this company right now is bound to grow. The EV sector itself is growing, and it's growing pretty fast. All the European and American countries and even countries in Asia and everything are moving toward green and electric and all this stuff. So even if Lucid has like a tiny market share, the whole market is growing, so the market share will be worth more, which means your investment will be worth more. From the perspective of cars, as a car, it has a very competitive range, also really powerful. I think it even beat like a Tesla and Porsche Taycan in a drag race, if I'm not mistaken. It has like adaptive cruise control as standard. It has Apple CarPlay as standard. It has like, you know, all the technology, all the stuff. It has like a clean design. It has a big boot, practical, comfortable. I sat in it in the showroom. They even show you like all the engineering and the battery layout. I also, along with a lot of other people, thought that Lucid might be the new Apple car, if Apple does make a car even. And there was even that picture in the Apple commercial or introduction or something where it showed there's like a little car and everyone's making a thing about it, that, oh, what car is this? And it did kind of look like the Lucid SUV, but Apple has invested some money with Kia, so that could make some sense. And I believe Apple would want to go for a Kia maybe, because they would probably want to go for something that costs less to them, and then they can label it with their things and make it their own and then sell it for more, which is why like they make their phones in China and India. Lucid is quite a premium car, so I feel like it might not be the Apple car, but regardless, that doesn't make Lucid a not good investment. And it's a fairly volatile stock. It might be one of those stocks that is low for a long time and you just think that it's dead and you don't bother with it, and then when it picks up fast, and then you start trying to chase into it, but it's like, you know, you're missing out on a lot. I would at least start like a small position in it and just hold on to it and just see what happens over the next like 5-10 years. It could really go crazy. Like even Tesla stock, when it actually went like crazy and then had a split and I don't know what, Tesla had this crazy kind of marketing to an extent, like getting sent to space. Lucid might not have that kind of marketing, but it has that kind of funding behind it to make a lot of exposure. Tesla's stock also blew up after the car was already pretty common and it was sold everywhere and everyone knew about it. Lucid is still pretty new. Like, I think there's a lot of people who, if you ask them, do you know Lucid, they'll say no. So if you're getting in now, I think you're getting in pretty early. If you've been trading the stock or whatever from like the last couple of years, then to you it might feel like everyone knows about it because everyone you know knows about it, but it's still not like known like that. And PIF is working on so many projects and they own so many companies. Basically they have so many different ways they could market this car and promote it, and they're going to be marketing it a lot in a country with high buying power. Kind of people using their main airline will be seeing this car a lot. I don't know if they're going to use it in like the executive office thing where they take you to the plane in that car, because so far they've been using BMW 7 Series and X7, so I don't know if they're going to replace that with this, because it is considered a luxury car. And also this is only the first version of this car. There's already an SUV now, which is already a game changer, and then imagine what next versions there will be, and when they make any improvements, I think it could really be something big. The country itself right now is experiencing like massive growth really quickly. Things are changing very fast. They're attracting a lot of foreign investment, a lot of foreign people, a lot of foreign businesses. Tourism is going up. Everything about the whole country is being marketed more and differently and is becoming more and more popular as a tourist destination. So in general, pretty much anything got to do with Saudi Arabia is growing like crazy, especially like real estate recently. Like if you bought any property like a year ago, it would have gone up massively in price now, let alone if you bought something a couple of years ago. Now it's still not too late to get into Lucid. So that's all for now, and please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, because the amount of effort that's going into these videos and getting like a couple hundred views or even less than 100 doesn't feel that good. Thank you anyway for those of you who have subscribed and who are liking and viewing the videos so far. See you in the next one.